when you start with the pilot script, it starts off hot and it ends hot. So I was wondering like what it was like to read the script and then either go to set and have to shoot it or just to see the final product as you get to the end of the first episode.
Well, all of that is an emotional roller coaster, right? In a very fun way. But when I first read the pilot, I called my team and I was like, I'll move across the pond for this. Like I knew that I had to play Cameron. I just loved how smart she was. I loved her badass energy. I loved just the confidence that she possesses and to come into this world and own it the way that she does and is firm in who she is and also demands respect. Like when I look at characters that I want to play, I'm always, looking for characters who I feel like are going to be telling stories that are important. And this is one of those. So I'm excited.
Yeah, yeah, but I feel it's that way for the series. I feel every episode has that, there feels like there's an internal build for the 8 episodes, but episodically they have these bursts also. So there is it feels high intensity. Not to say there isn't moments of pause and for things to build up, but they just feel like we do go at a pace. So, but it reads true, like you were saying with the script, it carries. Sometimes you do a job and you read the pilot script or the first couple of episodes and you think this is amazing. You go and do it and you watch and go, oh, that didn't translate the way I thought it did. And you might look at it again and go, oh, I see what I missed here. And that's not the case in this. And what we read is on the screen, and the good time we had on set is translated too. So I think we're just all very lucky it worked out that way.
So the thing takes place in the 80s. So Aidan, I mean, the mustache, that was very Tom Selleck, Magnum PI in America back then. I mean, probably the 80s in
You're
general.
welcome.
So the mustache, your idea or the producer's idea, or was already in the script?
Oh, God. See, this is where I start getting myself into trouble because I just sometimes can't remember. And I think I did say recently it was my idea, and I don't know anymore. I can stick story, but I might get a phone call. I'm 99.9% sure, unless there's a super fan out there who can find one line in the book that I've missed. But it's not mentioned that Declan does have a mustache. I feel like I fought hard for that. I feel like there was maybe some kickback to go, hey, there's going to be a lot of mustaches, and I think I may have responded, but not like this. And then I got it, and they agreed to it. But yeah, and I think there was something of a screen test with it, and we all kind of agreed that if it was too much, we'd take it off. But come on, what a mustache!
No, man, it looked great. Hey, I'm jealous. I can't grow anything. So Nafisa, so like I know the 80s are a little outside of you. So like how was it going back to the 80s and kind of just putting on the clothes and everything in that era? I mean, one of the things that really makes the show is the music.
Mm-hmm. I have to piggyback on you. When I saw the show and I saw like I heard the music, it's one of my favorite things about it. So the music hits, it helps everything to move really, really smooth. And for me, I've always wanted to be an adult in the 80s. So this was like a dream to go back, get dressed, red nails, red lip, show how Black women really wore their hair in the 80s and how iconic and like the style of it all. And just remember watching my mom, my grandma, my aunts, like in the 80s or the 80s transition. The fashion kind of transitioned into the 90s and pretty much stayed the same for the early 90s. So I remember what that looked like. So I remember when I would have my fit-ins with Ray, our costume designer, I would be like, okay, this looks like that moment, from the color blocks to the high-waist skirts and the belts and the jewelry.
So in the show, you're the talent. You're the talent, and you have to work with Nafisa. You have to figure it out. You're the British talent. She's the American producer that comes on. There's kind of this like frenemy thing or whatever. So it's like, how is doing scenes with her? Because like you both like you guys have just like some good dialogue, good like chawing at each other for a bit.
Yeah, yeah, great. I mean, we spoke about this before, but it's like they really respect each other. I mean, that's the important thing. I think, they're not trying to outdo each other or compete with each other necessarily. I think if one or the other has the better idea, they go with that, and they both recognize that in each other. So there isn't an arrogance there or an ego, which you have to sort of pick through to see, because I think. At a first look, you might think they have that, but actually, they're really creative people who work very well together. Both hot heads, both shooting the hip, but, marriage made in heaven.
Cameron having a lot to prove, and also knowing that she has the wits, the smarts, the talent to back it up. She just was ready to, like he said, shoot from the hip. And I love the thing about Cameron too is that she's not afraid to kick it with the guys, and she lets them know I'm just as big, I'm just as bad. She's from New York. Like, people from New York aren't scared of anything, right? And then also too, what Aidan said, it's like if he wins, I win. So it's like we had to first get out of our way a bit when we first met. And like you said, it can seem like they're against each other, but it's really like, if I can make you look the best, then it's going to make me look like the best producer. So we're really playing for the same team. And once we, get past that first moment or two, we realize, again, like he said, like how much respect and adoration you'll find that they have for each other.
Game on.